our biggest jobs in the last couple of years was actually a property that was in Gulf Breeze, and it was struck by lightning, and the spray foam insulation smoldered, and it caused damage throughout 3 stories of the house.
Wow.
And we're talking about custom Italian marble, mahogany wood.
All had to be treated.
All I heard was money.
Yeah.
Yes.
CJ, it is great to be back in the studio again, brother, and we have a very special guest today.
Andrew, thank you so much for joining us here on the Yapaholics podcast. For those that don't know who you are, tell us a little bit about you. Who are you and what do you do?
Thank you for having me. I'm Andrew Schroeder, just a local here in Pensacola. I have my 9-to-5 with ServPro of West Pensacola. We do fire, water, mold cleaning, and restoration. Outside of that, I own a company called Baby to Beach. We rent baby equipment to vacation tourism and couple that with some beach equipment as well to make people's lives easier.
I love that.
That sounds very convenient for people.
It definitely is. And we'll get into that here in just a second. But Andrew, you've seen the podcast. You know how this intro goes a little bit. We wanted to do a little bit of a pour, and you knew so much that you actually brought us the whiskey we are trying today, which is Horse Soldier, I believe, correct?
Yeah, tell us what you know about it.
Yeah, so it's Horse Soldier bourbon, and it's made. One of the founders is a local, I believe, out of Navarre. And he was a part of a group that went into Iraq and Afghanistan after 9/11. But they came up with a bourbon, and each mold for the bottle is pressed with steel that was taken from the World Trade Centers as well and donated to them. So cool little local story behind a decent bourbon.
And thank you for selecting a local one. That's super cool.
Yeah, one sip here. We like to rate the bourbons we drink on this show. And I got to say, this is my first time having this one.
Yep, same.
And I'm very impressed.
Yeah, it doesn't have like it didn't take my breath away bite to it. It's very, very smooth.
It was very smooth. I would probably give this a nice 7.8 out of 10.
I'm going to give it a solid 8.
Okay.
Love that. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say it's a solid 7.5. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you typically drink bourbon? Is that your drink of choice, or do you shy towards more the light liquor side of things?
Yeah, I've gotten into bourbon quite a bit since I think 2023, maybe 2022. I did the bourbon trail with my best friend for his bachelor trip.
I want to do that so bad.
And learned a lot about tasting bourbon. I think I watched one of your episodes where you talked about tasting bourbon, and kind of got into it after that. I've gotten lucky where I won a Stag Junior bottle in a silent auction.
Oh, wow.
So my collection of bourbon has grown, but it's not a daily drinker for me. I'm a Busch Light kind of guy.
Hey, boy. Speaking of, they brought back the apples.
Apple, yeah. I've had apple maybe once or twice, which it was delicious and refreshing to my surprise, but just the good old-fashioned Busch Light.
Yeah.
Well, CJ knows me best. I've always wanted to try it because there's so much hype about it. Is it one that you think that I would enjoy?
No, you hate it.
That's what I thought.
It tastes like beer.
Yeah.
No.
And I'm not a beer person at all. This is my side of things. This is what I enjoy.
It's got a very light appley aftertaste. You would hate it.
I probably wouldn't even taste the apple.
No,
that's
you
what
wouldn't.
You're saying to me.
It would taste like beer, especially Busch Light.
Well, Andrew, you said that you're with ServPro. That's the first thing that we're going to discuss here today, because ServPro does a lot for the community, especially since we are in one of nature's destruction zones because we get hurricanes. Granted, we haven't had anything in a little while. Go ahead and knock on that wood for me. Thank you. What does that look like in your day to day? You handle the contracts, correct?
Sure. I handle the contracts, and storm is a huge part of our business. But here in the Panhandle, one of the biggest things is temperature and humidity. So it's not always a big storm that causes damage. You have rental properties or people that live out of state and they leave their air conditioning off during the summer, and that can actually cause quite a bit of damage with temperature and humidity. Now, myself, I do go over sales, more on the sales and marketing side. So we do handle priority sales agreements with commercial businesses like condos. And then we do have contracts with local government entities as well.
That's
Wow.
cool. One of the things that you had just mentioned that I've just recently run into is I had someone close on their house. It's their second home, so they're not here full time. And they'd asked me, what should I leave my AC on? Should I turn it off? Should I leave it up? I'm like, well, you don't want to turn it off or keep it too high because the humidity in there is going to be too high. I also see a lot of humidity in like off-grade houses and crawl spaces where they don't stay dry and they stay wet and mildewy, and then it causes the floors to buckle. So to your point, storms are a big factor in our area. Generates, I'm sure you guys, a ton of money, but it doesn't always have to be a storm for people to call you.
Correct. Yeah, we've actually had some dry seasons here in the last couple years, and no storms. Again, knock on wood. We don't necessarily prey on storms, but yeah, crawl spaces are huge in this area, and I have a house on a crawl space and didn't know it until a couple years ago. But to prevent that from happening, the solution would be encapsulation, which is quite a process, but.
Yeah. And there's pumps and fans and
That's
all
right.
different kinds of things you could put under there to try to keep the humidity as low as possible and keep it dry. And I can't imagine at one point in time people that's the only houses they were building was off-grade houses. So before the companies like ServPro came along, I can imagine what people were doing to try to keep their crawl space at a decent level of humidity so it didn't ruin their floors.
Sure. Yeah. And I would agree with you. When it comes down to the mold side of things, people have to realize not all mold is a harmful mold.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
mold does occur naturally. Anytime
course.
you open your door to the outside, spores are going to come in and go out. And
What do you guys do for fires, right? That's typically I would hope not a common occurrence, but it does happen.
Well, it's a great question because you see it. I know you see it, but we have a ton of fireplaces here.
Oh, yeah.
Which I don't know why people want fireplaces in Florida, but
It's typically on the older houses. That was the heat source they used because people didn't use heaters.
yeah, fair. But it doesn't make any sense anymore.
yeah, believe it or not, there are a lot of fires in Escambia County, and I actually had a meeting with a firefighter not too long ago, and I think Escambia County is actually one
of the
the highest counties for fires.
Yeah,
which was
I know
surprising.
the county does during the holidays, during Christmas, they do light the wreaths, right? You don't want them to be red for fires. And I think every year, unfortunately, the whole wreath gets lit up in red because of the amount of fires we have. So it's unfortunately common, but hopefully not as common as other jobs. Do you see any one thing or another that causes the fire? Like, is it electrical? Is it just misuse of people not knowing how to work fireplaces or Christmas trees?
Yeah, fires range in the way they're started. It's hard to say, but from what I've seen, fires are absolutely devastating.
Oh, yeah.
Even a small fire can cause tons of damage. What happens is, let's say you do have a kitchen fire caused by an oven or stove. What'll happen is when your HVAC system's running, it will take that soot and spread the odor and the soot all throughout the house.
Yeah.
One of our biggest jobs in the last couple of years was actually a property that was in Gulf Breeze, and it's right on the water. If you're going over the 3 Mile Bridge, you would see it without knowing it. And it was struck by lightning, and the spray foam insulation smoldered, and
Wow.
it caused damage throughout 3 stories of the house.
Wow.
And we're talking about custom Italian marble, mahogany wood.
All had to be treated. Yeah.
All I heard was money.
Yeah.
Yes, that was a big job, and we handled the mitigation part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was some artwork that we had to refer out to someone that was more certified in handling things like that.
Yeah,
So
I've run into a few houses that have been for sale that has fire damage, and to your point, that the smallest of fire will just ruin a place. You can't live in it. You don't want to breathe it. You need it to be restored. It gets into the roof. You have to replace everything.
And a lot of times, if there was an active fire, it's not just a fire job.
Correct.
What happens is firefighters will come and put water on the fire.
And
So
then
now you
it's
have water damage,
Yeah.
and the power supply to the property has to be shut off. So now you're starting
Mold.
to have suspicious growth
Yeah.
in your building. And fires are never a good thing.
Yeah, that's devastating.
I've actually
I hate
had a
that.
house burned down before, so I know how devastating fires can be. It's awful whenever it happens, and it can literally take everything away from somebody. So
Yeah.
I 100% agree with you.
I don't wish that upon my worst enemy.
Yeah, not at all. And I know that we've kind of skirted over hurricanes because we haven't had any in a little while.
We don't like talking about them.
But living on the Gulf like that, hurricanes are a reality.
Oh,
What's something that you wish more people knew about before a hurricane was to come?
Yeah, so I would say the biggest thing is being prepared for insurance. So working with commercial buildings and condos, we have something called a priority service agreement, and that includes coming out to the property, designating, where the cutoff for the water is, where the electric panel is. Not only that, but also doing some type of measurement or scan of the property to get measurements for it. Because after that damage happens and you need mitigation or remediation, it's truly based off of square footage.
Sure.
Right? And so to have all the information that you need to send to insurance in the form that they need it and the language that they need it is really big. So preparedness for insurance, and that is residential as well as commercial. And one of the services that we provide is called a smart scan. And so I know the realtors are really familiar with Matterport. We use the same type of camera. It's called a DocuSketch camera, and we provide the measurements for the homeowner. That includes a full 360-degree tour, and those are just beneficial things to have for any property owner.
That's one thing I didn't even think of. Obviously, I tell people to prepare their house the best they can. The hurricane shutters, lock the doors. If you're not there, try to take as much with you of your, important belongings so it doesn't get ruined. But one thing I don't think I really tell people is the insurance, the aftermath, right? You're going to have an insurance claim. Make sure you take pictures of the before. Make sure you take pictures of the after, the damage, everything you've lost personally that you're going to have the claim for. But it's nice to have a service like that you would already have available to send to the insurance company to hopefully speed up the insurance claim portion. Well
said. Yeah. And these days, insurance has changed as an industry, and they will do anything to not pay a homeowner out. So just like what you said, the documentation is huge. Having the pictures of before damage. Yeah. And again, that may not even be for a storm. That could be for when a pipe bursts or,
hail damage.
We've had freezes in the last couple of years, which have been pretty crazy. And luckily, they don't stay around long enough for us to have a lot of damage. But there are cases of pipes bursting during a freeze. And again, to have the same documentation that you would need for a storm, you can have it in those cases as well.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great service to have. You've told me something I've learned today. I've not even thought about that as a tool, but that's definitely a tool I'll be using moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And have you found, I know you mostly deal with the contract side of things. Have you found that you have more people having issues with insurance to where it's hindering y'all being able to help somebody?
So it never hinders us. We do offer financing. There's ways to get around it. It's really just an unfortunate situation for the property owner, not for us, right? We want the property owners to get what they've signed up for and paid for, and sometimes it's just an extra hurdle in the process. And so we've even gone as far as, when homeowners get denied for something, that we've helped them write a kind of rebuttal letter to the insurance for their denial. And there has been one case where it's helped out. And, for people, it's really just helping them solve their problems, and that's the biggest thing.
I mean, you still have a job to do. You guys have to hold up your end of the contract. So it's just working around the payments and the insurance payouts, or, whether they hire a public adjuster or whatever it may be for you guys to get the right amount of money to complete the job.
Yeah. And again, it's not really on us. It's more of the unfortunate side is on the property owner in that case. But we do say it's best to have those documents in place, because then you just have more ammunition
for them to actually go forward with the claim versus using any doubt to try to deny it.
Correct.
Yeah. I got one last thing about ServPro before we hop into a little bit about your Beach Baby stuff, because I'm super curious about all that as well. You're in the sales portion of ServPro, so you're out in the community building relationships as part of your job. What do you think is so important about that, specifically in restoration?
Finding people's needs is going to be the one thing. Even in this conversation today, people don't really think about it until they need it, right?
Yeah,
so it's really just to have the information available, and that's what builds strong relationships, is giving people information that's valuable to them. But really in our industry, the relationship is the biggest part of what I do, because when something happens, you really have to be top of mind, because it's either they know who you are and what you do, or they're going to go to Google and find somebody, right? So any business relationships are huge, but in our business, the relationships are big because you don't need us on a daily basis. You only need us in probably the worst circumstances you can have. And there's no time to think in a water damage situation, fire damage situation.
It's an emergency.
Mold
panicking.
is a little bit different. People still panic, but it's to be top of mind and even referred out, because it's not just the person you have the relationship with, it's people they know as well. So we get a lot of referrals just because someone knows us, and then their neighbor, I was talking to my neighbor, and they were talking about having damage and need somebody. So it's really the 7 degrees of separation. Right?
Yeah, I'm a firm believer. It's not who you know, it's who they know. I'm 100% on board with that. Same thing with our business, right? People don't buy and sell, but every 5 to 7 years. So if we can keep the relationship going, and then the neighbors be like, hey, I'm thinking about moving. Hey, we've got a guy. So I'm a firm believer in everything you just said.
Yeah, I would say when it comes down to the sales side, we get just as many calls from Google as we do and we spend a lot of money on Google, but we get just as many referrals from our relationships with property managers, roofers, the plumbers, the HVAC technicians that are called out for the original issue, right? A lot of times someone has water damage in their house, but they truly have a roofing issue, right? And so they called the roofer out, and the roofer referred us, or those type of situations.
Yeah.
The unfortunate thing is sometimes it's worse than what they originally thought.
It can be. Yeah, it can be. To be honest with you, in my world and what I've seen, a lot of times people think that they have some horrendous problem of black mold. And again, that goes back to with mold, you can't really say it's mold unless you test it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of situations where people think they have a larger problem than they do have.
When people think of mold, they just assume it's the black mold. And you Google it, and it says, just don't breathe it, you're going to die.
Yeah.
So then they immediately panic and call you guys, and then I assume you have to test it, right? Unless it's colored, right? You have to test it.
So, the best case would be to test it. We do offer a service. We charge $75 to come out. Oh. And so, like, I got a call today where somebody has suspicious growth in an HVAC closet, right? That's a situation where we go out, we can monitor the air quality, we can do leak detection to see if there's an active water leak that's feeding. If it's black mold, it's got to have an active water leak that's feeding it. So we do a lot of different things with moisture meters to figure out what type of mold it is. And if it is a harmful mold, we will tell you to get it tested to come up with a protocol. If not, our company can actually treat it and write a letter of sanitization.
Oh, cool.
For things like that. So we can tell what type of mold it is based on the environment that the mold's in.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, mold's a very, very unique situation to deal with. I hope I don't ever have to deal with that.
Yeah, and actually, funny thing is that in the state of Florida, to be a mold remediator, you have to have licenses.
Oh, sure.
In the state of Florida, you can't do a mold inspection and testing and the remediation as well. It's a conflict of interest. Now, if you go into Alabama, you don't have to have a license at all. So it's kind of like the Wild West, right?
Checks out for Alabama.
That does make a lot of sense.
Florida does a pretty good job on, making sure there's no conflict of interest. And when it comes down to insurance, that you're actually using someone that's certified to tell you what's going on.
Yeah, that's super important. I learned that the hard way, that the conflict of interest is there. But it's great. I think it's a great thing that the same person can't do the work if they're coming out to check it out. So it's fine. It's no big deal. We just pivot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's Alabama's a whole nother animal.
Yeah, it is.
Roll Tide.
And listen, I think ServPro is wonderful and honestly does so much for the Pensacola community.
Yeah.
But you're also a bit of an entrepreneur yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, let's get into that.
I wanted to talk about that a little bit. How did you, one, remind us of the name of your business?
Yes. So my business is Baby to Beach.
Baby to Beach.
I love that. And
Baby to Beach. That sounds that name's amazing.
It's incredible.
I love that.
How did you come into that specific of a business?
Sure. Yeah. It was really my best friend and partner's idea, and he travels a lot. He's an electrical engineer, and he, before having a child, he took his wife to Disney World, and he noticed that there were a lot of people there that had obviously traveled there, and some people were pushing strollers that Disney rents, but other people weren't. And so he did a lot of research into it and brought the idea up to me, and we went forward.
I love that.
So just a little bit of chance on that one.
Yeah. It's so genius. It's not anything that I would originally think of because I don't have a kid that needs all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yep,
but there is
right
such a big need for it, right?
Yeah.
And coming from the fact that he saw this at Disney of all places.
Ugh, we'll be there next week.
Yeah. CJ,
Very fun.
CJ loves it and hates it at the same time. He says he hates it, but he goes every single time, so it's great. But what do you think that you're bringing to the Pensacola area for people who visit here? Because I talk about it all the time. I'm sure people have seen the clips of me saying we live where others vacation, and that's exactly who you're targeting is the people who vacation here.
Yeah. How do you take that from Disney on an asphalt, sidewalk or street to the beach?
Sure. Pensacola's done a fantastic job bringing in tourism and becoming a true great tourist destination for people.
Shout out Visit Pensacola.
I think one of our biggest things is to provide this equipment, but really provide quality equipment. So, our first rental, the family had twins, and they rented out 2 full-size cribs. And, we really do have quality cribs and mattresses. And when they got done with their trip, they asked us for a link to buy the equipment because their kids slept so well. So really what we're trying to do is make sure when people come here that they're getting a quality experience. And part of that is not having to worry about the hassles of, lugging a bunch of equipment through the airport and strollers and, it's management of time.
That's super important. Time is priceless.
Yeah.
When we talk about baby to beach and we're talking about cribs and mattresses and stuff, go a little bit more in detail because I don't have kids of exactly what you're providing, what you offer.
Sure. So we rent the top 15 to 20 infant toddler pieces of equipment, cribs, high chairs, strollers, pack and plays. But outside of that, we also have a California beach baby tent that's a great infant shade tent for the beach. We rent Tommy Bahama chairs and umbrellas, as well as coolers and canopy tents. So we get into a little bit of everything that someone would need for their whole vacation experience on the beach.
So when people are traveling here, they don't have to worry about bringing anything for the baby. You
Correct.
Can provide anything at the Airbnb or the hotel or condo that they're staying at, as well as any item on the beach.
Yeah, so what we do is we have delivery and pickup, and the cribs do have a setup and breakdown. So we're coming in, getting a call whenever someone's arrived at the airport just to let us know what time they think they'll be at their Airbnb or the rental, and we'll come in, drop off all the equipment, set everything up, and come and pick it up when they're done.
Yeah, I feel like that saves people time, money, stress.
Well, not only that, probably saving the vacation.
Saving
you know
the
what I'm
vacation.
saying?
100%.
That's a big
because
deal.
there's definitely going to be people who are reaching out to you who just forgot to bring their stuff. I know some people are going to be planning like, hey, I don't want to bring this stuff.
You can't remember everything, right?
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I don't have kids, but and I imagine you forget something at some point.
It's a lot. So think about taking that through an airport.
Oh, that sounds like a disaster.
You know what I mean?
Right. That was my thing.
It's actually
you don't want to do
expensive.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to fly with that or pack that or pay for the bag or the luggage or the pack and play. Like, you don't want to do that.
Yeah. I would say on their end, it's the expense of having to bring it through the airport. It's the time of having to lug everything.
Right.
A lot of people are Ubering to their rental rather than renting a vehicle. Yep. So there's a lot of parts to it.
And then you got to check the bag. And I say this very gracefully, but I'm assuming you're vacationing, right? To an extent, the money's not an issue, right? So the time and money it saves to be able just to rent something that it's set up there for you as soon as you arrive saves any kind of headache. Not only having to worry about checking the bag, is it on the same flight as you're going to? Does it arrive? You've got the toddler, the baby, whatever it is. Like, it's worth the money of whatever price it is. It's worth it in general to not have to worry about it.
I will say, we've had 2 rentals that, the family has actually gotten in at, 8 p.m., 9 p.m., and the baby is tired.
Oh yeah,
It's traveled all,
Traveled all
fussing.
day.
And
Yeah.
I don't have a kid either. My
Right.
partner does have a 2-year-old,
Sure.
so I've learned quite a bit.
Sure.
But yeah, it's tough. If once it's past their bedtime,
Oh yeah,
they
life's a
scream their
disaster.
heads off.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
And
you
most of
don't-
the time they're fighting it too. They think they don't want to go to bed, but they need to go to
Yeah,
bed.
me neither.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same, same.
CJ does the exact same thing.
Yeah.
That's why he doesn't have a child, because
Yeah.
he is the child.
I am the child. I need the baby to beach. That's
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I need to be in the pack and play.
One of the things we also have, I mean, it's simple as can be, right? But beach toys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I had a friend come down and
well, you're certainly not packing beach toys when you're
Yeah.
coming to the beach. There's no way.
And you can't purchase them while you're down here, because obviously we have a bunch of places you could buy from. But why would you do that? Because then you're just going to have to lug
Leave
them
'em.
back to
Yeah.
wherever you came from.
yeah, it's a little bit of a green company, right? As well, so it keeps people from having to buy
Waste.
things and then leave it.
Yeah.
So cuts down on the waste. But the beach toys, man, a simple little plastic shovel and a bucket goes a long way.
Yeah. Sand castles. They can dig to China. It's. I remember when I was a kid, like digging like 2 feet into the sand and thinking I was like underground. Yeah. Yeah. The fact that they're able to do that, and again, not have to lug it, not have to worry about it. It's already there. They can leave it behind when they leave. Doesn't count towards the waste. That seems like a no-brainer to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a great idea from the business partner for sure. Great on you for capitalizing on that.
It's a fun business, and you get to go out to the beach.
Of course,
right? So
right.
your
Yeah,
pickups
you're at the beach.
on a Sunday. You pick up your equipment, might swing by the dock.
Yeah, of
you know.
course. Yeah, get a little bushwhacker.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, I think me and CJ are both like super fond of this idea of baby to beach. It's just incredible, right? But let's talk about a little bit about the local area here
Yeah.
and Pensacola in general. How long have you been here? Are you a native? Have you grown up here your whole life? Did you move here? What's that look like with you?
Yeah, I've lived here long enough to say that I'm from the area. My family moved here in 2004, a month before Hurricane Ivan.
Good timing.
Yeah.
Golly,
Oh,
y'all got the
God.
full effect when you moved
Yeah.
here.
That age, I believe I was 12 years old. We were out in the swamps whittling sticks, and we got off school, so it wasn't a bad thing
Yeah,
when you were
no,
a
no, no.
kid.
Oh yeah, I
I
remember
agree.
it fondly.
now.
Yeah.
But
We took a month off school. It was incredible.
yeah, graduated Milton High School,
Okay.
2010, and I've been in the area basically ever since. Spent a little bit of time living in Austin, Texas.
Oh, so did Matt.
Yeah,
Shout
That
out
company moved me to Arkansas,
Oh,
and
what's
spent
in Arkansas? Walmart.
Not much, man. Yeah, Walmart.
Yeah.
When I moved there, it was dial-up internet still in
Right.
the area I moved to.
My
so,
point exactly.
spent about 6 months there and moved back and said, you know what, I'm here for good.
Yeah. We always tell people once you start here, eventually you always come back.
Yeah.
You'll end up here at some point in your life.
And that's the curse of Geronimo, right?
Yeah,
You
that's,
all heard that.
That's
yeah.
right.
I brought this up not too long ago, but we had somebody in our comments saying that exact same thing, that Geronimo apparently
His
cursed
the area, Yeah.
and you can never leave. You always come back. And that's what happened to me. I left. I came back, so I
never
kind of
left.
believe it. I haven't gone down the rabbit hole yet, and I promise you, random TikTok user, that I will go down the rabbit hole
I won't.
and try to figure out a little bit about this Geronimo curse.
I never left, so I don't need to. But
You'll have to have a historian on.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
good
would be
point.
fun.
Be cool.
That would be fun. Well, what's something that you absolutely love about the area?
All right. Come for the beach, stay for the people. But one of my favorite things, and we'll take it a little bit outside of Pensacola, but
please.
Southern Raceway
Oh, yeah,
in
Milton.
East Milton.
Yeah, shout out Milton.
I don't
It's
think we've talked about that at
At
all on
So
this
please go into
podcast.
detail what that is.
Yeah, so it's a dirt racetrack in East Milton. It was actually just purchased by some new local owners that
Yeah. Three of
have
them, right?
done-
Three people?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that have done a lot to the track. But in the past years, it's truly been one of my favorite things on a Friday or Saturday night. $2 beers and
Oh.
a good time.
Now, wait a
of,
minute. $2 beers.
racing. Yeah, can't beat the deals. And it's one of those places. it's out in the country, but on a good race day, it is packed. It's kind of a different world out there. So I love that. That's always a good time. Outside of that, the beach is great. We have a great food scene. What's not great about Pensacola is what I would ask.
Well, that was probably going to be our next question.
Yeah, that leads me to my favorite question of the podcast is what don't you like about the area? What is something that annoys you, brings you pain?
Or you think could have
improve?
a little change.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'd have to think about that a lot longer.
Yeah.
I
love that.
Truly love our town.
Same.
It's got small time town feels to it, and then you have a gallery night that's huge. We've got great events, and got to thank my friends for inviting me out. But Island Fights, I've been to a couple of those. Those are great.
Same. Yeah, I agree with you that there's not too many cons to the area. Should you think about it long enough? Of course, there are. But
why don't you all give me a con, and I'll tell you if I agree with you.
Go ahead, Matt.
Well, the one that we've brought up probably the most, and
as a reoccurring topic,
and has had the most feedback on and agreements to, is the construction that affects traffic.
Yeah.
Like specifically, exit 10 on I-10 it's west, right?
Yep.
I-10 west.
And
that like buildup that happens, right? It's awful.
And
It's
now,
one of the worst things in the area.
since like beginning of May or like end of April, exit 5 in Beulah. Oh my God, there's not an exit, brother. I almost ended up at Buc-ee's in Alabama because I almost missed my own exit.
Yeah.
No, that is actually my exit, and I've started off getting off on Brent and just going down Palafox.
It's quicker.
I
It
will
truly
tell
is
you
quicker.
that is a little bit of, it's a temporary problem, but
course.
holy smokes, how much work they're doing there.
Yeah.
I think that area, it's building the infrastructure, because we
course.
see 9 Mile growing
Oh, preach.
amazingly.
Keep
I
going.
just went to the new ramen restaurant last
how is
night.
it?
Amazing.
Oh, yeah. What'd you get?
I got beef ramen.
Ooh, you're
I
speaking Matt's language.
Wish
I
I
love
went
it.
in more hungry. Everything on the menu looked good, but I think as we grow, we need that.
We do.
Because the interstate was a little bit of a wreck there anyways, getting on and off of 10. So I hope the off-ramps and on-ramps make it a little bit easier for the traffic in that area as we grow.
To be fair for the state, they are providing us with the updates of how long it's going to take, what the progress they've made, the aftermath of it once they get done in about 100 years. They're ultimately not going to have to do anything else for a very long time.
Yeah.
So they're building for what they know the area is going to be. I had read something very, very recently in one of my TikTok comments, actually, that what happens with an area is you build up the area first, and then you work on the infrastructure second. Mm-hmm. So as our area has been growing, that's what matters the most. We deal with the traffic, as we've noted in past episodes. We really have no right to to complain about the traffic, but it is an inconvenient thing we have to deal with until it gets done. But they're working on the infrastructure second as the area is continuing to grow.
Yeah, I think as soon as Costco opens, we're going to see why we need that interstate
good luck, brother.
running and well-oiled.
I'm staying away from that area for at least 2 months.
Yeah.
Off the interstate in that area, I will say I've lived in Ensley on the same property since 2013, and they've done a great job. It's a redevelopment community, and so they've added sidewalks on Chemstrand, and
love that.
I do think the city's doing a pretty good job at keeping up with things.
I mean, as much as we can, right?
our
With the
area,
growth
at
that
least.
we've had. I mean, the 9 Mile area looks completely different. I grew up on that side of town, so I'm very familiar with the 9 Mile area. I just moved from like the university side for like 5 years. So the growth that it's had from like the last 5 years is incredible. It's big enough, right? Like, sure, you may catch every red light, you may have to time it, but it holds enough traffic. Like, it's not 2-lane street where, you're just honking and cussing at everybody.
Yeah, rush hour does get busy, but outside
Sure.
of rush hour, it's not too bad. And
Yeah.
I will say, go UWF.
Yep. Go Argos.
The football.
We just went Division
team
2.
There you go, man.
I love
That's
it.
big.
Yeah, so
It's huge for the area.
yeah, it's ginormous.
Have you guys been to a game?
No, not yet. I'm not.
We need to go so
We're
bad.
going
go.
this year for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
One thing that I will bring up is that, how do I want to phrase this?
Just say it.
Typically, we ask about food.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't want to ask about food. I want to ask you a little
lame.
bit different of a question.
Okay.
And you may have already given us your answer, to be honest, because of something that you'd brought up when we first started talking about Pensacola in general. What is your favorite city in the Panhandle?
Ooh, that's a good one.
City in the Panhandle. I mean, Pensacola.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was actually in Panama City yesterday, Panama
Yeah.
City Beach, and
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
you know, I've always been on Front Beach Road. I thought that was downtown. Panama City Beach does have a cool little historic downtown area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got to see that yesterday. But I truly think, again, once we have South Palafox
Yep.
and our downtown finished,
Yep.
you can't beat it.
Shout out DC Reeves. It's almost done.
Yeah.
We're coming up on completion date. I was just down there yesterday looking at everything. It looks phenomenal.
And it's crazy because it feels like we just started talking about that not too long ago.
Yeah.
Because we covered that on the
when
podcast.
they just started the construction. Yeah.
I went to Panama City not too long ago, and just an incredible area. So much to do. And it's just, I know people will complain about how far it is and everything like that,
course.
but it's truly not that far away.
No,
Like, to do
in
a
the
day
grand
trip
scheme of
there
things.
is nothing, and it's so much fun.
And they have a Top Golf.
And they have a Topgolf, which I wouldn't go. I mean, I would just go to
Mobile.
over to Mobile
Yeah.
because it's closer to us. But yeah, no, I thought you were going to lean more towards Milton. Yeah,
You know,
Especially with Southern Raceway.
I do love Milton. I do love Southern Raceway. There's
Praise Hill,
some
Praisdale.
gems out there, but you know, I'm a Pensacola guy.
I don't
I'm not
blame you.
I
leaving
love that.
Pensacola. You know, I live nice and on the 9 Mile side of town. I think there's quite a bit to do and go to, and then you know the times you want to have a nice night of going out and bar hopping, you go downtown, and Pensacola is the greatest place out there, I think.
We'd be remiss to, when we're talking about Southern Raceway, to shout out our liquor sponsor with Mortgage by Jamie.
That's
Jamie
true.
Goodwin with the Southern Raceway. Her and her husband, he races out there. I'm assuming every weekend, but you know, I'm not a dirt track guy, so
Yeah, it might be more like every other weekend.
Whatever,
but, you know, that's
however
still a
often
lot
they
of
race.
lot of racing.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Well, listen, Andrew, it's been awesome talking to you, man, and learning a bit more about your 9 to 5 and your business. If you don't mind, let the people know where they can find you, how to contact you, whether it be ServPro or Baby to Beach.
Yeah, if you need ServPro, the number is 850-ServPro. That's 737-8776. If you need me at Baby to Beach, we've got babytobeach@gmail.com. But other than that, you can find me on Facebook. That's kind of where I'm at. My name's Andrew Schroeder, and hopefully you follow me and get to know each other.
Love that, man. Also, if you like the conversation today, remember to like and subscribe. If you're looking to get on the podcast or move to the area to enjoy everything that we enjoy, please hit the link in our bio, fill out the submission form, and until next time.
we'll yap you later.